All right. So we have seen how we can open a file, how we can read that file, or how we write in a file, and at last we close the file. Now the question is, when we are running this command f equals to open within quote abc.txt within parentheses, so it will open a file. Now the question is how this file will open. Can anyone answer this thing? Can you write something in this abc.txt file here? These things are already discussed. Now you can answer if you have practiced or if you know these things. Anyone?
Sir, by adding comma W, we can write in that.
Okay, so in this case, you cannot write something on this file, right? Why? The question was, can we write that thing? The next step is how can you add something or how can you write something? But the answer will be you cannot write on this file because it is open in what mode? So there are three modes. There are different modes, but basically we can handle the file in three modes. That is read, write, and append. Right. So read, write, and append. Now by default, this file is open. Allow me to unmute. Syed, you can unmute by yourself. I am not controlling that. All right. So here in this command, we have not mentioned that whether it will write or append or read, but by default there is a R. That means this is equivalent to only providing the text file name, because this is already there. By default, that file will be open in read mode. Okay, so that's why you cannot write it in this file. Same for this file. This, if the file exists, so then only it will open. If the file doesn't exist, so that file will not open and you will get some error message. Sorry. Now one thing you must remember, that when you are trying to open a file, that file should be in the directory from where you are running the code. Okay, from where you are running the code. That means you create a directory and you keep your Python program in the directory, and you can keep other files which you are trying to open or write on that directory, so then it will open. Otherwise, what you need to do, you need to provide the full path of that directory before the file name. So that is very much important. That is very much important. Otherwise you will get, you may see that the file is there in your computer, but and you are running the code exactly same, but the file is not running or file is not opening and you are getting the error message. So check that whether that file is in the folder where from you are running the code. That is necessary. Otherwise, you need to provide the full file path. All right. So we will see that example also, and we have discussed this earlier also. Next, we have discussed how we can get some error message if it is not open or if it is not there. So you can get an error message on the screen. So you need to print something. When you are opening a file, and if you are not using any print statement, so you will not see anything on the current running cell. Okay, that terminal you will not get any output because all these things are saved on the file what you are creating. But to see something on the screen, on the cell, on the terminal, you need to run with print command. Then only you will see the output there also on the terminal. That you should remember. And we have seen how to close the file. So it is very easy. The file handler name. So here this fileptr, this is a variable, and this variable is also acting as a file handle, because when you are opening some file with a variable name, you are storing that thing. So that means this is now your file handle. All the content of that file are now in file pointer. So fileptr this in this variable. And so this file handler should be closed before you leave the code. So the last command should be file pointer dot close. So very easy, dot close method, and the file will be closed. Okay, so open and close, these two commands are very easy. And we have seen how instead of only open, we can use with statement, and in that case we don't need to close it forcefully. As it is with block, so the code will run up to this print statement and it will automatically closed. The file, you don't need to close the file again. Okay, so that is one method. You can follow any one of these. Either you close the file manually, or you can use with option. Now here we have discussed about writing the file. Okay, so the command is dot write, the file handler name dot write, and within parentheses anything you want to print within quote. So that means a file you are opening, file 4.txt, using W mode, that means for writing, okay, not for reading. And in that file, because these are like things that when you are reading a book, so obviously you will not write on the reading book, right? So you need to change the mode, just like you take another notebook and then you write. This kind of thing is also going on here. The book which is for reading, you cannot write something on that, and that's why you need to change the mode. And here by W letter you are changing that mode from read file to write file. Now when the file 4 for txt that is present, and or you can create this thing by changing the mode with W, so then only these lines can be written on that particular file. Okay, and obviously when the file when the lines are written on the file, so you can close the notebook and you can keep it. So that's why at last we are closing the file pointer. All right, so these we have already done, and then the read line method is there. We will see that thing also, how to read that line, what you have written, or whatever lines are there in a file, that you can read one by one next. Okay, and another mode is append. Now why append is required? What is the difference between write and append? Can anyone answer this question? What is the difference between?
Sir, append helps them append help add by another line,
But write,
but not erasing the previous line.
right,
It also add
very good. So it can add the lines or anything it can add, but the previous things will be there in that particular file, in that same file. So the previous thing will not be erased. That is the advantage of append. Good, very good. So Yeah, next we have seen how to read the line, right? Now suppose we have created a file 4.txt. Let's check whether it is there or not. File 4, yes, that is there. So this line is written on that file 4.txt. Now we want to read from that line, read from that file. Now what we can do, we are using file pointer dot read. So the command is read. Read method reads a string from the file, and within parentheses some numbers are given. Okay, so first let's try to remove this thing, and now uh, we are printing the type of the content and then print the content, and then we are closing the file. Okay, let's run this. Now you can check that the type of the content now is string, because we have written in that file uh, some lines. So obviously those lines are basically a string. So it's showing the type is str, that means string. And next we have printed the content. Okay, now you can see that these lines were there, and it is printing all the content, right? 1 2 3 4 4 lines were there, so you can check that 4 lines are there. Now we can add some parameter, we can pass some parameter when we are writing the read command like this. So let's check what will happen. Now it is taking only the 12 characters from the beginning, right? You can check that, including the space and all. So this is actually the count of the string element. All right. So this is the simple use of read method. Now often we use read a file through the for loop. Now you can remember how we have created the for loop for I in the object. So here we open the file, so there is the same syntax. Okay, not required. Now we are opening it in read mode by using R command, right? And it all the content stored in file pointer, this file handle. Now we are writing the for loop for I in file pointer colon print I, and then we are closing this file. So let's run and check what it is printing. Now you can see that the lines are printed, right? But you can see the difference between the lines, that only one blank line are present, right? Only one blank line between this second and third and fourth line, only one blank is present. But here in the output, when you are printing here in the terminal, so then you can see that there are two blank lines in between second and third and fourth line. Okay, so this is a problem. So how can you remove that problem? So there is a concept in Python, that is R strip. Okay, sometimes some characters are hidden inside the file what you are trying to handle, what you are trying to open, and those hidden characters you will not see when you are opening that file, but those objects are there at the end of the file, like a blank or like a \n kind of thing. So that's why it is taking that thing when you are running from code, and it is showing you the result as output. Now you can remove that thing by simply using this rstrip operator. Okay, so the line it is taking, and then it is removing the hidden character from the end. Okay, now if you run this command, so then you will see that exactly it is printing the same line. Is it clear? rstrip is very much useful in some cases when you will do some file handling. So you need to remember this command rstrip. Okay. All right. So by this way you can read the lines in a for loop. Hopefully you understood this thing. You can ask me if you have any doubt.
So can you please show us how to create that file, the text file or file before using that? How to take that
Your voice is not clear. Hello. Your voice is not clear. Can you repeat? What exactly do you want? Supriyo, can you unmute yourself?
Hello sir, am I audible?
Yes, but it is cracking. Anyway, what you are saying?
Okay sir, I'm writing the comment box.
Okay, okay. Okay, so next example is also very same, but the difference is here we will use the read line option, not only the read option. Here in this case we used read function, read method, and here we will use read line method, so that we can catch one line at a time. So if you use read method, so as a whole all the lines will be printed. Okay, or all the lines will be read and all the lines will be saved. But here read line will allow you to catch one single line at a time. Okay, so the same syntax, nothing new, only instead of read you are using read line, and that is stored in a content. So if you use this content, if you use this content variable, and if you print this content, then you close this file, you will see that only first line is printed. So read line actually read the lines from the file, individual line, and then it will show you. Okay, now you can read the second line, and obviously you need to use another variable to store the second line by the same method, and then you can print that second line. Okay, so that's the way. So we have printed only the second line. Okay, yes, what is asking, sir, can you please guide me with how to create the file in a document tree? Document tree, what is that? So that we can use it without the full address. I am struggling with the debit. Okay, so that we can use it without the full address. Okay, so Supriyo, I got your problem. Suppose you are running from a directory. Okay, suppose you are you are running it, which actually which option you are using, that is Jupyter Notebook or PyCharm, or what you are using exactly? Can you tell me?
Sir, notebook. Jupyter notebook.
Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So you keep your program, this Python notebook file, in a directory. Okay. Go to the directory and open the directory first. Open that file first. So you will get this kind of file, and from here you try to write a file first, and then you open that file. Okay, because if the file is not there in the directory, so it will not open, first thing. Or manually you can keep the file in this directory, that you can do. You can create a file by using this new command or text file, then you can write something and you can close it. So sorry, the file, you save it, and this untitled.txt will be saved there. Now you can go here and you can check that untitled txt is created. Now you can open that untitled.txt from your code. Okay, if the file is not there, then you will get one error. All right, I think now you can do that. You try, and if you are facing problem again, so inform me. All right, so yes, so far we have seen that how we can read the line or read the lines individually. Next thing is, another method is also available in Python, that is read line. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes, I will
In read line command,
Yes.
can we define any specific line to read and show?
Read line command, I need to check if I am saying this. So let's take what it is giving me. No, that is only giving the character from that particular line. Okay, so I need to check whether is there any option to specify the line number using this method. And there are certain difficulties with this read line method, and that's why we use for loop. In for loop, we can define which line number you are trying to fetch, or that kind of thing. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah. Now another method is read line. So same rule, only the difference is here line and here line. If you use by mistake read lines, so what will happen? It will store all the material or all the contents of this file in a list, and that list will be printed. Let's check. If we run this thing, we have used file pointer dot read lines, and it is stored in content variables, and then we are printing the content. Okay, let's check. Now here all the 4 lines has been printed, and you see all these \n, \n, comma \n, all these things are written, and those are inside a list, right? So that is the use of read lines. If you use read lines, it will be all the materials will be taken inside a list. Now you can take out each one of these list elements. So that is up to you, what methods or what is your purpose, and accordingly you can frame the code. Okay. Okay, next we'll see how we can create a new file. Now, as we have already discussed that we can use W mode, right, to create a new file, and you can write something on that file. Now, there is another mode, it is X. Okay, we have not discussed about X mode previously, but it creates a new file with specified name and it causes an error if file exists with the same name. Now, this exclusive method is very useful because if there is already a file, existing file with file4.txt, okay, and if you are trying to write on that file, so obviously by mistake if you are doing that, all the results, all the output from that file will be erased, and the next and the new things will be written on that file. Okay, to avoid that situation you can use X. And if you are trying to open this in X mode, what will happen? Check first, check that whether we have file4.txt. Yes, so it is there. Now what will happen if we are trying to run this? You check, you see this is saying that file exists, file4.txt. Okay, but if you use W, so it will run and will erase all the previous results. Okay, so that is the case. Similarly, file, say for example, file x1.txt. I am trying to open this file using X mode. Now check that whether we have this file in my folder. Let's check this file.1. No such file name exists. Okay, let's run this. Yes, it run. So now we will open that. We can read it from here again, but to save our time, I am going back to the directory and I can see that this file is created. Now we can click it and we will see that hi is written. So exactly what we have written inside the file, that f.write hi, isn't it? So we have, if you are writing f.write something else, so you can do that by this way. You can run this. Okay. Now what is happening? Now it is saying that file x1 dot file underscore x underscore 1 dot txt is exist. So using X mode, it is not possible to modify this file further because it is clashing with the previous file. Now what you can do, you can stop this kernel, you can rerun this kernel, restart this kernel, and you can delete this file from here. Now you can run this. Now it is running. You can go back, you can check that what is it written. So hi, something else has been printed. Hi, something else has been printed. But as we have not mentioned that whether there will be some backslash n or not, so it is printing all these things at a straight, right? If you write this, again you need to restart this kernel, need to delete this file, and run again. Now go back. See that there are two lines which are separated by backslash n. You can see that I have placed one backslash n here after comma. So it is taking that backslash n as a blank line and as a new line, and then it is writing the next sentence. Okay. Okay. So now we will check that if you by mistake omit this line, so what will happen? Suppose you have not written f.close line when you are opening some file. Okay, so you have written the exactly same code, but you forgot to give this line. So what will happen? Let's check. It runs. You can go back. You can check the file x underscore 2.txt. It is created. No problem with that. But if you click on, it is blank. But you have written this hi, right? But it is not printed on that particular file. That is because you forget to close this file. So closing is very much important. Okay. It is like that you open the book and if you open the notebook and you forget to close the notebook. So that's why the program here is confused. It is not actually closing the last line. It is open, it is written, but you cannot view that thing in that file. So manually you need to close this thing, and I need to, if I want to delete that file, so I need to rerun this thing. Now if I run this, notice run, this file is created and hi is also printed. Okay, I think now you understood what is the use of f.close. So this is very much important. So far, what we have discussed, any doubt, any question, any query? All right. If not, so then we are moving to Python OS module. Now, this operating system module, why this is important? Because see, sometimes in bioinformatics job or any kind of big data analysis problem, what is necessary that you will not see just like this kind of GUI, that is graphical user interface, this kind of click based method. This is Windows operating system is not available in many machines. Okay, and in that case you need to run some command and you need to modify those file and all these things. Okay, and in such cases this kind of simple code are very much useful. Suppose you don't have this kind of mouse click based method, you have given some terminal and there you need to write some commands so that you can access a remotely present computer where some files are given, and you can access that file and you can rename that file, you can copy that material, you can paste that material into other file. Okay, so that kind of job are done in a regular basis actually. So if you want to do such thing by programming, so you can use this kind of module, that is OS module. That is very much easy. For that, you need to import the module, that is OS. Import OS. Okay. And using that, suppose you want to rename the file. Okay. Now OS dot rename. So exactly whatever we are saying, just like that, command names are very much easy
Sir,
to
can you
remember.
repeat, sir, OS model, please, once again, sir?
So you want to know about the use of these modules.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I am saying that sometimes in some company or in some big lab, uh, there are some server machines, okay, server computers, and you don't have access to sit on that server computer, but you can access that from a remote computer. Okay. So in that case, you don't have this kind of click based uh, operating system like Windows. There you will find some terminal only, and in that terminal you need to type something so that you can access the files which are there in the server machine, and you need to uh, if you need to access that file, or you need to modify the file name, or you need to copy the material to another file. So all these activities you can perform by some command line. Okay, so that is the use of command line programming. So here you can use operating system module to do such kind of thing. Suppose you want to rename a file. So if I am saying that, okay, so you rename the file 4.txt with file.txt. So what you can do, you can just go to the directory, and you click on that file 4.txt, and then from here you can rename the file.txt. Okay. Suppose this kind of facility is not there in that computer. So then what you will do? Then if you are using Python programming, so you can use OS module, and then OS dot rename, this method you can apply, and within the parentheses using double quotes you specify the current name and the new name, the name you are going to give the existing file. If you do that, that file name will be modified to the new file. Okay, so let's check whether file is there. No, there is no file named as file.txt, so we can use this syntax. And now if you go back, you will see that file 4 is not there, but file.txt is present. Okay, so exactly 4 lines are there. So we have changed the file 4.txt file with file.txt name. That's all.
So
Okay.
it is showing some permission error. Why it is?
For what?
So it is giving the error message that permission error. The process cannot access the file because it has been used by another process. But I am not opening that text file. I am trying to rename it.
So
but I am not opened
you first
any.
close that file. So earlier, probably you are running that file. You forgot to close this file like this method. So it is opened by some program and it is not closing. Okay. So you have to manually close that file, and then you can rename that file. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So you can remove the file name. I am not going to delete any file name, so I am not running this thing right now. So you can do it os.remove within quotes that file name. Say for example, you can delete this file. Just we have renamed it file.txt. So please check your files and then you try to remove. Once it is removed, you cannot get back that file. So whenever you are running that remove command, please be very specific. So os.remove file.txt, if you run, you will find that this file.txt is gone. Okay. Now, similarly, there are certain other commands to create the directory. The code is .mkdir, that is make directory. So using the same OS module, os.make new. If you do this, now this is for directory. That means directory equivalent to folder. So you will see that new directory is created. Okay. And if you are trying to remove the directory, so use rmdir and the same folder name. So you do that, you will find that that is deleted. Okay. So these are very easy. Now suppose you want to know where from you are running the code. Sometimes when you are running the code, you forget in which directory you are in right now. So there is a method that is get cwd. That means get current working directory. Okay. So if you use that from the same using the same OS module, os.get cwd. So just let me clear this output. If you run this, it will show you the current working directory. That means now you are running this program from C directory, C, then users, del, documents, this directory under this file Python. So you check that exactly same directory are over here. So documents, the some directory name, and then file Python, this is another directory, and here you are running the code. So it is showing the full path of this file. Okay. And if you want to run from other directory, any other file you are trying to access, so what you can do, you can go to that and you can write, you can take that full path and paste it before the file name or full file name. So by that way also you can use that file. Okay. So the same thing we have already discussed, the use of R script. Now the question is how you can solve this thing. Suppose this assignment is given to you. So I'm explaining the assignment. Create a test.txt file which contains the following line. Now suppose here, okay, so there is a this blank line is not getting. Okay, suppose these 4 lines are given to you. Okay, my first line, this file and contains 3 lines, and these 4 lines, so this is there is a blank line actually. So these 4 lines you need to write in a text.txt file. That is the first job. So create a text file which contains the following line. Okay. Then write the lines in a out.txt file with line numbers. That means first job is to open this file, and next job you need to write the lines, but you need to add these numbers, line numbers, 1 colon 2 colon 3 colon 4 colon, and the line also. So when you will open the out.txt file, so that you will see this kind of result or this kind of output. Is it clear what you need to do? So open a file and write something in another file. So actually now you are merging these two things. Open a file for creating something, and then you need to write something on a new file. So these two things you need to do. Okay. So how you can do that thing, we will discuss in the next class. All right. Is there any doubt? Is there any question?
Sir, get CWD method. Can you repeat once again?
Okay, you are saying about this thing.
Yes, sir.
This is useful when you want to know where you are right now, means in which directory you are right now, where from you are running your code. So whole path will be given if you run this command. Okay, that is the thing. So actually, this file python dot
Sir, this path address and print it
yes, it will get the full
in a
file path, and obviously you can see that two slashes are there, but if you go back to your directory in your computer directory, so if you right click on the properties, and you will see that there is no such two backslash. Okay, so in Windows cases you need to supply two backslash so that it can be used for further use. That is another point to be remembered. Okay, so not only one single slash, but you need to give another slash whenever a slash is there in Windows system. So we'll see if we are trying to get some file from the computer, and when we'll run some program from other folder, other directory, so then we will use this thing. Okay. Okay. So I have only 4-5 minutes. So let's do another thing that I think all of you know how to download some file from Uniport KB, right? In bioinformatics, you have done this thing. Suppose you are writing insulin. Okay, so it is not helping. I am trying for peptide search. Okay, it is opening Uniplot only. Okay, yeah. So Uniplot KB. Now you are searching for any protein name, and now you are getting the protein sequences, and here you can see that human insulin, right? Okay, it is 110 amino acid long. If you click on this, you will see you will check the format, and if you click on this, what happened? Internet is not working. Yes, first the canonical, so you are getting this sequence, right? If you click on this, you can save as the desktop dot fasta. Okay, so it is saved on my computer, or you can copy and paste this file, and you can keep this file on the desktop. Okay, or you can keep this file on the same directory. Now if you go back, I have written this code. Yeah, so here in the last code, now you can see that I kept this insulin.txt file on the desktop, right? And I have provided the full path by this way. And then I am opening that file in read mode. So I can use this f.read command, and then we can take out the name and the sequences, name of this file from that total file, and the sequence portion from that file, and then we can print this also, and then we can close the file, and we can, if we run this, we can see what will be the output. Now you can see that what is going on. Okay, I need to check that one, what it is going. File one is not defined. Some error is showing, but exactly the same thing is showing. That name is this, because this is the file header name, and the sequence is also printing in this way, right? So you can see that this was the header line of that file, and this is the whole sequence. Though here in this file that is kept in two different lines, but actually this is a single line, and in the output of this program you can see that that is printed in a single line. So that means this is the right way. Otherwise, if you are trying to use any other method, so you will get one single line, and the and based on that first line all the calculation will be done, and all this searching method, if you are searching anything in that first line, so all these things will be checked on that first line only, and you will get some a result, but that result is not correct. So you first take the full length of the sequence, and we will discuss this method how we can do that in the next class. Okay, so line by line we will see, and we will check the method. All right, see you then. Not tomorrow, but next week probably. Tomorrow is holiday, I think so. And then